All right, Facebook always wants to delay it here to get started. Sorry, we're a little late here. I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock here on the 22nd, Wednesday night of July. And we have a perfect night out there. I felt like I needed a sweatshirt out at the fair. It's that much cooler than we had last night. I am watching your comments, by the way, here on the 14 News Facebook page. So if you want to chime in, I'm always glad to hear from you. All right, we look at the big picture right now, and we are in the sweet spot. The cold front is to the south. High pressure has moved in over Indiana and Illinois. We will stay clear and cool overnight tonight and enjoy some of the best best weather that we've had so far this summer, in my opinion. Clear and nice overnight. Temperatures will drop into the low 60s. And the break will last through Friday, although we might have a few pop-up showers on Friday. And then better chances for thunderstorms arrive on Saturday, along with the heat and humidity. We're back into the mid-90s by early next week. But look at this, 59 overnight tonight, 61 for Thursday night going into Friday. And then you'll notice as these lows climb up, that's a good sign, or a bad sign, depending on how you want to look at it, that the humidity is back, and the highs will get into the middle 90s there on the first part of next week. Doesn't look like we will have smoke problems. The model here keeps us in the clear as that high pressure is close enough. It'll kind of fend off the smoke for the time being. Friday afternoon, we might see a shower or two. Our model here trying to kick up a few little areas of rain. And then on Saturday morning, we have showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly in Missouri and Illinois. Those will eventually move into the tri-state but be weakening, and then more may fire up during the afternoon. We got up to, or we're at 71 degrees right now. Our temperatures around the area, we even have upper 60s at Mount Carmel, Fairfield at 69 right now, and 68 out at Dundee, otherwise right around 70 degrees area-wide. Those feels like temperatures, they feel pretty good too, basically matching the actual air temperature. We only got down to 69 this morning. We were still kind of in the transition of getting the humidity out, but tonight, with it being this dry, we should easily get down into the lower 60s, and today we only hit 82, which is about 10 degrees cooler. It's 13 degrees cooler than yesterday, but about 10 degrees cooler than the normal for this time of the year. We didn't get any rain in the big cool down, at least not at Evansville Regional. Some of you had thunderstorms, of course, yesterday as the cold front moved in. So we're about 2.5 inches below normal on rainfall. Our average temperature still about 2.5 degrees warmer than normal. Tomorrow, a virtual copy of what we had today. Still sunny, still nice out there with temperatures near 80 during the afternoon. To our west, we have showers and storms over the Rockies. This is monsoonal rain coming in. The monsoon is the shift in wind direction where it comes in from the Pacific toward the Four Corners here. And they actually had a tornado and some rain and stuff out here in Phoenix yesterday, and still getting some rain today. And this actually is the time of year that the desert Southwest gets the majority of its rain during the monsoon, or that change in wind direction that draws the rain in from the coast. It's kind of like lake effect snow works, where you have a fetch of moisture off the Pacific, and that jet stream then pulls the rain in. Monsoon does not necessarily mean heavy rainfall, by the way. It simply means a change in wind direction that generates rain. And speaking of rain, we have plenty of it here along the Gulf Coast as Bertha continues to churn now just to the south of Louisiana, and will likely make landfall here near Houston by the end of the week. The current location for Bertha now at a 45 mile per hour wind there, so a minimal tropical storm. It will continue to move right along the coast here past or Lake Charles rather, Port Arthur here, and then eventually into Houston. That will occur late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Now there could be flooding and rain problems primarily across Houston and that area, but the wind should subside significantly once that tropical system makes landfall. Few spin-up tornadoes will often accompany a tropical system when it makes landfall. On the hour by hour, we have that northeast wind continuing through tonight. It's just a breeze. It's really not much wind at all. But as long as the flow is in from the northeast, we can bank on very pleasant conditions around the tri-state. The rain then comes back together early Friday, and that'll be moving in but weakening or breaking up Friday night, and then kind of rekindling Saturday morning, mainly down here around the lakes, the Purchase region of western Kentucky, up towards St. Louis. And then those showers kind of fizzle, but we will likely see a few more popping up during the afternoon. Both the GFS model that I'm showing you now and I'll show you the European here in a moment, are indicating at least some scattered thunderstorms or showers on Saturday, and then we dry out again. But we have that south wind cranking up Gulf moisture, humidity, and it'll be, the usual July dog days, miserable, don't go out kind of weather. Tuesday, we have a chance for showers and thunderstorms in the tri-state too. All right, let's compare notes here. First, we'll look at rainfall potential with the GFS, and it is not concerning here. If we got 1 1/3 inches, that would be wonderful. I don't think we will, but at least it indicates that we have some thunderstorms in there that would be capable of putting down some locally heavy rainfall. Okay, for the European, this is Saturday at noon, and its storms are a little farther north, placed a little farther north, and then those sweep through. Sunday, Monday mainly dry, and Tuesday, no rain showing up on the European. I think we will probably get some showers, at least isolated on Tuesday, because of the heat and humidity that we're expecting then. But we don't have a cold front or anything to really act on it, so it'll more likely be what we would call popcorn variety or air mass thunderstorms that just kind of bubble up. 58 degrees tonight, how about that? And then tomorrow, 81. It'll be sunny and pleasant out there. The 7-day forecast is much hotter as we move into the weekend's end and into next week. 94 there Monday and Tuesday with a few isolated or scattered thunderstorms. Temperatures kind of level out by the first week of August, still warmer than normal. Normal would be about 89, so we're probably looking at 91 or 2, maybe 93 for daily highs, and drier than normal too. It looks like the rain's going to go away. And that's Boots eating food sort of scattered about out there. Boots might just be one of those cats that doesn't come in, and he doesn't look very happy about it either. All right, let's see here. I'll get your questions and comments. All right, we will go down the roll call here. William Raleigh thinks he died and went to heaven because the weather's so nice. Well, no, you're still here in the tri-state. I can verify, but it is wonderful outside. If you haven't been out, go out. Just walk outside. That's all you have to do. I saw people at the fair tonight. Everybody has a smile on their face because you were risking your life, walking around in the heat and the smoke and everything else. Laura Gray, watching from Dawson Springs. Nice outside. Yes, it is. Jeanette Rice, good evening. How are you, Jeanette? Maddie Price, good evening. Beautiful night out tonight. Hoodie and sweatpants for the porch swing. That sounds appealing. I went home at dinner, and we've got one of those old-timey gliders, and I like to sit on that with my son Patrick. And Drums on the Ohio is going on over at Wrights High School, so we kind of checked that out. But I got cold. I didn't want to put a sweatshirt on, though. Let's see. Jeff Miller, 69 degrees in Savannah. Unbelievable. Ricky Brown, good evening. Hey, Ricky. Jennifer Atherton was able to do some yard work this evening thanks to the breeze. It was nice. It was. It really was. And I didn't have to water plants tonight. I did it yesterday, and it didn't burn off today in the heat. Zach Seats, is there any chance for severe thunderstorms for Evansville this weekend or next week? Well, you can never rule it out. Certainly when the temperatures get back into the 90s, we'd have a lot more energy in the atmosphere. Now, whether or not we will have all the other ingredients is still up for debate right now. There are no outlooks for severe weather at this point, either Saturday or next week. But that's just because it's Wednesday, right? It could change over. So we'll keep an eye on it. Angie Wampler, super nice day to sit out and get some yard work done. You all are very industrious. You work in your yards all the time. Well, I do too, but I try to pick my times to go out there. Suzanne Daly says, nice day. Jeanette Rice, is Friday mostly cloudy or sun and clouds? It'll be sun and clouds. Carmen Craig, I did well with the chickens. Well, yes and no. The one pecked me in the head. I didn't, I was just sitting there. I got too close to the cage. That's on me. But it had it in for me. I can just tell when somebody hands me an animal, I'm always a little leery. But you know what the payoff was? After I got done with the weather, they had fried chicken dinners at the 4-H out at the banquet hall. I had fried chicken for dinner. I was going to have a pork chop, but I couldn't resist fried chicken. Dark meat, 2 pieces of dark meat, mashed potatoes, and green beans, and a drink for $10. I don't know who I benefited, but it was good. Thank you. Carmen, let's see. Carmen Craig. Oh, I answered that one. Okay. William Raleigh. Going to be out in Collinsville tomorrow through Saturday Proto Model Railroad Club. All right. Sounds good. Let's see, Collinsville. That's over by St. Louis. Is that where the big ketchup bottle is? Trying to think what ketchup. It's Brooks or I can't remember. But I thought that was at Collinsville. You can tell me. Maybe you don't know about that. Google it. Big ketchup bottle near St. Louis. I think it's actually a water tower, but it's gigantic. And it's not Heinz. It's the other brand of ketchup, which I think back in the day was either Brooks or Hunt's or somebody else. But it's a big, you know how a Heinz ketchup bottle kind of has a certain look to it, and this bottle has the other look to it. Kind of, you know how the Coke bottle look, well, I'm dating myself here, but the old Coke bottle looked one way. It was kind of went in like that. And then like a ski bottle was straight up and down. Anyway, look for the big ketchup bottle there, if it is in fact in Collinsville. Anthony Coleman, watching from Virginia Beach here till over the weekend. I hope you're having good weather out there in Virginia Beach. I know you got storms yesterday, right? Hopefully you'll salvage a couple decent days. Oh, William Raleigh knows about the big ketchup bottle. I'm going to Google it. Why are we wondering when we have Google right here at my fingertips? Big ketchup bottles, St. Louis area. Let's see. Aha, it is a Brooks. It's in Collinsville. What do you know? How about that? Some trivial knowledge that I had hopefully helped someone. Probably not. Everybody says Collinsville. You all must be on Google too. All right. Well, take Tesla over and get a picture with the ketchup bottle. And see, I think Brooks, it was catsup, C-A-T-S-U-P. And I think Heinz is ketchup. And there's a reason one is one and one is the other. I always heard that catsup, I think, just in personal experience, catsup a little runnier. Yeah, my grandma used catsup. She always called it that. They didn't use, my folks used Heinz, and they used Brooks or whatever was on sale at Jerry's Market, and it was it came right out of the bottle. Man, you know there's no weather when we're talking ketchup here. I wanted to do a follow-up to Jeff Miller's question last night on ball lightning. So I did a little more reading, and I was fairly correct. It's believed to be a plasma ball of energy, electricity. And there have been some limited attempts to recreate ball lightning. And a guy by the name of Nikolai Tesla coil, right? Russian guy way back, scientist, physicist. Anyway, he developed the Tesla coil, which could generate lightning, among other things. He was also behind alternating current, if I'm not mistaken. The idea was to be able to transmit energy over long distances, and you can do that with alternating current because you don't have a loss of power, even though it's going over the lines. Direct current or DC doesn't work very well. There's a lot of loss, and so. Anyway, Tesla fooled around with his Tesla coil, which is this big electrical apparatus. Go on YouTube and search Tesla coil sometime. You won't believe what you find there. Tesla, kind of like the car. And there's like a guy in Texas that has one of these Tesla coils in his backyard, and he puts like an aluminum stepladder out there and a fence, and then turns this thing on. And there's lightning everywhere. The neighbors must love him. But anyway, the point of that story is Tesla experimented with trying to make ball lightning and was somewhat successful, but it was never really agreed on whether or not the lightning that he created in a lab was the same as ball lightning as observed by people. It's very rare, as I think I told you last night. Doesn't happen very often. Sometimes the ball will appear, and the size of the ball is generally around 4 inches or so, which would be about the size of my fist. Sometimes they vanish, sometimes they fade out, sometimes they pop or explode violently. And so, but no one really quite knows how it happens. Another instance of ball lightning being created, so it's not quite the same as natural, is in a waveguide, which, like here at the station, we have a transmitter that sends out power through what's called a waveguide, and it's square. It looks like in the old days it was round, it looked like copper pipe. But anyway, the energy goes through, up the waveguide, and out on the antenna. That's how you see me on TV. And in certain conditions inside the waveguide, they have observed ball lightning. Okay? I don't know if that cleared anything up or just made people more curious. Hopefully it made you more curious. You can do some research too. But anyway, lightning in general is the result of a difference in charges, electrical charges, between the ground and the cloud. And we get that electrical charge in the cloud through friction. We have updrafts and downdrafts and opposing air motion up there, and that will then create enough energy that you have a potential between the cloud and the ground. And so what happens is, as the cloud charges up, you'll get a leader stroke which comes to the ground, very faint, and that is basically a channel, almost like a waveguide would be, for the energy then to go back up into the cloud. And when that happens, when you sort of close the circuit between the cloud and the ground, then the air within that leader stroke or column it glows, right? It basically vaporizes in a way. Lightning strikes are about 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And I don't know how they figured that out. The scientists did it, and I don't question that because we know lightning can start fires in that. But the process can repeat several times, and if you've ever looked at a slow motion video of lightning strikes, they pulse, right? It's not just a solid, bang. It's a pulsing kind of affair when it happens. And so that's a little bit about just how lightning forms. Of course, we can get cloud to ground, ground to cloud, and intra-cloud lightning, which is very common. That's what you see a lot of times that you call heat lightning. You'll see a thunderstorm off on the horizon, and you're seeing the lightning within the cloud. And of course, lightning generates a shock wave, which we call thunder. But thunder is limited on how far it can travel because as the energy, the sound energy from that lightning strike dissipates, it also is attenuated, right? It runs into resistance the farther it gets from the point of origin. But you can roughly calculate the distance you are from a lightning strike by counting, and it's roughly 5 seconds per mile. The lightning travels at about 1,000 feet per second. I round up just because the math is easier. If you want the actual numbers, the speed of thunder in the summertime is around 776 miles per hour. But anyway, if you care to do that, then you can gauge whether a storm is coming toward or moving away from you. Once a storm is more than about 10 miles away, under most atmospheric conditions, you won't hear the thunder anymore. There are occasions where you can, if the atmosphere is smoky, that's one instance, but also if we have an inversion up here, that can cause ducting, or the sound wave basically to ricochet off the inversion, and that's that rolling, long thunder that you sometimes hear. And then heat lightning, of course, is what we refer to a distant thunderstorm, where you can see the lightning, but you can't hear the thunder. I'm sure everybody left this stream to go look at the Tesla coils in Texas, and I don't blame you. I would be looking at them too. Oh, that's odd. William Raleigh's dog's name is Tesla. I just figured that out. He just said that. I wonder if Tesla the dog was named after Tesla the physicist. I don't know. This will be another question for William Raleigh. We're putting William Raleigh on the coals here tonight. Making him answer all these questions. All he wanted to do was get the weather for Collinsville. Missy Spriggs, lightning is really cool and also puts on a really nice show too. It is, especially when you can see it at a distance. I'm not a big fan of lightning, when it's around here, because I am talking to you underneath a 400-foot tall tower, which gets hit by lightning frequently when we have storms. And we, as a general rule, don't like lightning here in a TV station because of all the electronic gear, not to mention the human gear here that has to walk by the tower. Hey, we got another answer here from William Raleigh. And it turns out Tesla the dog was named after Nikolai Tesla. Well, son of a gun. Well, I'd say that's a full circle moment here. So when you get back from the Proto Model Railroad Club, I guess proto meaning prototype, but anyway, send some pictures over and we'll have to take a look at those. What else was I going to tell you? It seems like I had something important. I don't. I did all of it. So anyway, I will see you on 14 News at 10 o'clock tonight. And then we are still in our regular order. So you'll have Byron in the morning and Arden over the midday. And then I'll be here tomorrow afternoon and evening. In the meantime, get out there and enjoy this cool air. Stay safe. Have a great night.